I've been fishing since legit before I could talk. I could catch a limit with a string and a stick. I caught a 5-bill lump before I could walk. And I got the bug, so it's time to go flip. A Yeti full lunch and a tin full of dip. I'll be gone all day, baby, so please don't trip. I swear I'll lose my mind if you don't let me fish. And when he hit, dog,
is a big deer.
It's a dog, yeah. Dog. It's a toad. Dog. It's a giant.
What's up, guys? In today's video we are going to be detailing my entire Michigan deer season from October all the way through January. I hunted all the way till the cold. I am on my front porch right now because I have no privacy in my home, but we're working on that. Sacrifices of being a man, I guess.
What's your pronouns?
I'm a male, I'm a man, I'm a he.
Anyways, let's get into it. This year we detailed mostly in Pinkney recreation area, focused on that because we had a goal of getting a public land buck from the ground with archery equipment. Like I said, we were focusing mostly on the Pinkney recreation area, as you can see here. It is about 25 square miles of public land, as you see in the orange. The cool thing about this land is there's about 20 to 25 miles of just trail that the deer love to travel. We focus primarily on this area that we're zooming into here now. You can see that wooded area and you can see the trails all through it with lots of lakes, water, bedding area, and farms all surrounding for the deer to live in, bed in, feed, drink, and great places to hunt. What I really loved about this area is just the sheer magnitude of space. Also, the deer aren't that spooky of humans because they see them walking the trails, biking the trails all year long. If you're looking for a great place to fish on public land and hunt, I recommend checking out the Pinkney recreation area and all the surrounding areas, which I'm about to get into now. We also hunted a place called Chelsea State Game Area, as you will see here. What I really liked about this area is that it's surrounded by farmland and secluded from other public lands. It's just a very small piece of public land with a lake in the middle and a duck hunting access site as well. You can see here how it's a small piece but surrounded by a lot of private and farmland. Now, I know for a fact there were some giants. I had to move, by the way, because my camera kept overheating. Struggles of an early YouTuber. Anyways, you can see all the farmland surrounding it. It's also a very small public land area, and a lot of people, I don't think, deer hunt this place. And I know for a fact there is a giant there because of the tracks, as you can see in this clip.
It's huge. That's what she said. This was recent. This was not here on my way in. Compared to this big old boot, it's half the length of it. That's a big track, man.
Now, I spent a lot of time just walking up and down this trail here and just waiting to see if I could get this giant to come out. I never did. I saw a few deer out there, but I kept on seeing these tracks. So I spent countless hours this season just waiting to see if I could get this legendary buck, because I knew he was huge. His prints were bigger than my hands on both sides, and his toes were just splayed out. So you could just tell it was a giant.
That is a fresh track if I've ever seen one. And that, my friends, is a big deer.
But it was cool sitting out there because you also get to see pheasants, lots of mallards, lots of just different duck species. And that lake is also incredible for fishing if you're ever in the area. 4 Mile, Chelsea State Game Area. A lot of people don't know about it either.
We just pulled up to this spot. It looks really good. We're trying to get a deer on public. Look at this lake, by the way. We gotta fish this. So secluded for a public lake. I love it.
Moving on from our public land endeavors, we went to a place called Waterloo State Game Area, which is probably the goated version of public land hunting and fishing grounds and duck hunting grounds, any kind of hunting really. I think coyote even there, for this area of southern Michigan. Now, zooming in, I spent most of my time in this area right here, where this cut and these two roads meet, right in this wooded line where the water meets. The reason I did that is because those are all soybean and corn fields planted by the state. And this area is also surrounded by a lot of farmland, but this holds clean water and a lot of bedding area on land, as you can see when we move on down here. I also spent some time here because we had a few really cold months this year, in the middle of winter, consistent single degree and negative degree temperatures. I liked this area not just because of the water and the surrounding farmland as well as the bedding areas after the rut was over, but you can see where I drew this line, there's valleys right next to the water. So when it got cold and warm, and if you played the wind into factor, you could almost predict these deer movement by the thermal patterns based on the weather. Now, if you're not a super experienced hunter, thermal patterns are important because obviously heat rises, cool air sinks. So when it's really, really cold, deer might come up out of valleys. When it's really, really warm, deer might go down into valleys just to chase the cold air and the warm air. It also depends on wind patterns. But I just like this area because, like I said, it's surrounded by bedding areas, surrounded by food, and surrounded by contour that these deer could follow. Again, if you're ever in the area, Waterloo State Game Area for duck hunting, pheasant hunting, deer hunting, all of it. It's just amazing what the state is doing to provide these areas for people that don't have access to private. All right, now that we've gotten out of the way explaining all the public land spots that I went, let's just do a quick clip to see how the beginning of my public land endeavors went this year. Not great.
You know what's the absolute worst? Having to go number 2 while you're hunting.
I'm tripping balls right now.
Man, and honestly, I'm truly seeing, like, or hearing, like, rut activity over there. And that way. Well, that explains all the rut activity I thought I was hearing. Fucking woodpecker, dude. There's probably a couple of them in both directions. Oh, that's funny. Bro, it sounded just like 2 bucks fighting at times. Or maybe I'm just delusional and hopeful. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, guys, that's the problem with public land. I was just sitting here for about an hour, and I started hearing this jingling, and what runs right up to me, a dog, and then a guy shortly after. I'm still gonna stay here because I'm committed, but hopefully the spot's not blown out. I didn't get enough footage.
5 minutes later.
Hi, puppy. You smell him? Me too. You smell him, don't you? He's a good dog.
You're in a good spot, boy. You can't see you.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Thanks, man.
I don't know. That's a short I made. So the beginning of the hunts did not go that great, but I did see a lot of sign. I am getting extremely into hunting. If anybody's seen any of my content, I am a very, very skilled fisherman. Hunting, I am getting into. I don't trust the grocery stores anymore, so I'm trying to feed my family with as much natural food, meat, and what's the word I'm looking for? Scavenge or growth as I can. You know what I mean? I just don't trust what's going on in the health industry, so that's why I have chosen to also get into hunting. Also, being outdoors just makes me happy. Word. Anyways, moving on. Public land endeavors did not go well for the first few months of the year. Luckily, I got a big break and was able to hunt some private. Let's see how that went.
Alright, we just pulled up to an amazing looking spot. We got corn over there. Big opening here. Water way back there. And soybeans over there. Today might be the day. We're coming off a 2-day cold front. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm already shaking. Let's go. Look at this game trail. Right through there. And then looks like a bunch of bedding areas through there. This is looking so good. Let's go. Alright, so we're in this little cut. You can see the water behind me. And then there's a bedding area right here. And then a game trail through there with berries right there. So we're just gonna sit here, see what happens.
Something important to note here is this is like a peak rut. And right to my right, you can see on the map, there is a big open area where I just saw a lot of buck and doe chasing, sign, rut activity, scrapes, whatnot. So I liked it because we have the farms on both sides. We have this big area for them to move through and for me to see them doing their rut thing. And I just sat there for a few hours just to see if anything would move or come from a bed or vice versa. Remember, my goal was to get a public land buck from the ground with archery equipment. Even though I'm on private here, I still wanted to hunt from the ground. Something is primitive about it. Also, I couldn't afford all the equipment I needed. Low key.
I feel pretty good about it though. Be nice to be up in a tree, but we're challenging ourselves. I'll keep you updated. I'm excited. I moved up to this spot and there was one big doe and a buck right down there. I spooked them trying to sneak up, but I'm gonna go sit and see if one will walk at the last of daylight. Let's see what happens. I gotta be up here upwind though.
An important note here, I'm sitting or kneeling right in that opening I was just talking about where I could see some activity. When I walked up just to see after sitting for a couple hours in that deep cover, I did see a buck chasing a doe. So what I did was I moved up to where you can see on the camera angle here, there's a big opening in front of me, and there's a funnel that funnels them down from both sides. I put it on the screen right now so you can see. So my idea was that deer are either going to funnel from back at the farms or funnel from up north of me and move down from the farms there. And that's exactly what happened. They just get silly. I just sprayed some estrus and waited. Sorry for the blur here. I was trying to camouflage the camera. Later in the season, I realized it doesn't matter as much as you would think as long as you're still. Here you can see the two deer. The buck will chase the doe. In a minute, you'll be able to see the doe run from the buck, and then the buck turns around and just kind of walks right where I needed him to. Here's the doe. You're about to see her spook. There she goes. But the buck continued on his path feeding. Meh.
Idiot. I cannot believe I just missed that buck. Come back tomorrow, try to get him in the morning.
And folks, right there is why we invest in high-end equipment, take the time to dial in our equipment, not only for ethics, but also just so we don't feel stupid. But it is important to make sure our equipment is dialed in, and I learned that more and more progressively as this first serious hunting season got underway. I missed this buck, went right over his back, clean miss. My sights were dialed in. The air was the grain of the arrow. I was shooting too light of a grain compared to what I sighted in. And these are just things that you learn. Before you kill me in the comments, I did miss fully, and I did fix my problem, and I understand the issue with ethics. Anyways, I missed him. You're about to see him run up and sit and stare at me like I'm a big dummy. But stay tuned, because something unexpected happens right after this.
You're mine next time, buddy. Can't believe I just missed you. True lucky day. was like 4 or 5 days. I cannot believe I just missed him. God. Here she comes. If you didn't hear it, I said here she comes. Alright, right here, this deer is right off to my left. In a moment, you'll be able to hear this deer moving around in the brush. It's about 20 yards to my left. You can hear that. Now I'm fast forwarding as I wait, just sitting still as can be. This deer is at about 10 yards. Literally, I'm just sitting still, slowly raising my weapon until this happens. You're about to be able to see her step out. You'll be revealed what kind of deer that was moving forward, but I hope you forgive me. I stuck with my plan, stuck with the funnel, had a feeling one would come back around, and one did. I love this shot because you see the deer walk out, and I was still waited. I really was sitting there for about 45 minutes as it just slowly fed its way where I needed it to be. But you see that it kind of either wins me or just sees something funny. I was in full ghillie here. But you see the deer stomp and look right at me. And then right after it stomps, I got the shot and drilled it. She's dying right now. I'm sorry. Thank you. Field dressing. Right now I gotta cover that blood up, but yep, we'll get that big buck tomorrow hopefully. Alright guys, so we got him hung up. I'm a little bit embarrassed. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm a little bit embarrassed because the buck was coming around, as you'll see on the footage, and I missed him. And I had already clocked the other doe that was with him, and then there was a small one, right? I wasn't sure if it was another doe or a spike, but so I missed a buck and they circled, and then this one circled around, and I just waited for it to come out of the bush. You'll see in the video, but I had already clocked that doe in my mind, so I thought it was a doe. It's really a spike, but you know, it's legal with my tag. These things do happen. You can see the spikes. It's really a button buck. Like I said, I was embarrassed, but the meat was really good eating, and all around a good hunt. I'll show you those in a minute. But I'm kind of ashamed that I shot him, to be honest. And you guys didn't know, I wasn't going to tell you till I got it. This is my first solo deer ever. And I did it on the ground with archery. Pretty proud of that. Hopefully we'll go back for that 8, whatever it was, point soon. Want to see it, Dad?
Congrats, you got your first deer.
Yep, got my first deer. It's just a button, but, you know, I got him. I thought it was a doe in my defense, but I guess it'll be good eating. We're going to go back for that buck that I shot over top of tonight, and we're going to get him, mark my words, next week, most likely. It's peak right now. That was a good buck. We'll see what kind of the footage looks like. You guys have probably already saw it. I'll flash back right now. Let me show you these buttons. Let me show you why I thought this was a doe. See that? It's legal, tagged, but because this is my non-restricted tag. But you know, thought for sure it was that other doe with that buck. That's all right. Will be some good eating. And yeah, guys, my first deer solo from the ground with archery. Many, many more to come. Didn't want to tell you guys that because you would have clicked away until I shot him. We're gonna go back and get that buck. I'm gonna show you this video is not over. Let's freaking go check out these northern lights. We got the northern lights tonight, boys. No, I saw them this summer too, remember? Look at that.
Northern Lights, get Larry.
I'll put a picture in here too.
It's a giant, and now I'm home.
Or maybe I'm just delusional and hopeful.